welcome. You have tuned in to Sisters Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio. I am your host, Kim, and I am so glad to be here. It is truly a beautiful day. The sun is shining here in the Chicagoland area. It's a little chilly, but at the same time, it is a good day. Why it's a good day? Because we're here, and God has definitely given us an opportunity to get ourselves together. So listen, I have a short show for you today. It's called Winning Deliberately. Winning by default is no longer an option. We're going to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Got some thoughts in my head with regards to this thought. We will be right back. I'm going to take myself a 60-second break, and we'll be right back. Once again, this is Sisters Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio, as well as Facebook Live, and we will be right back.
You got to pray every day just to make a better way. On your knees, bow your head. That's what our Lord Jesus said. Got to pray every night just so you can see the light. And you must read your Bible. That's the key to our survival. When you see your brother man down, just be thankful that it's not you. And if you're able to help him, just know that
All right, you guys, welcome back once again. You have tuned in to Sisters Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio, as well as Facebook Live. Listen, I am your host, Kim, and this is our weekly broadcast. And of course, I title it, Can We Talk with Lady Kim? And there was a thought that ran across my mind as we again prepare for the new year. Everything for me as we came into this last quarter has been about the new year. It's been about gathering momentum. It's been about, letting go of some excess weight. It's been about letting go of some excess baggage, letting go of negative people, letting go of some negative places that you may frequent, and truly just making a shift for yourself. Because it starts with you. No one can make you be a better person. No one can make you do the right thing. No one can make you want to live for you but you. And you only have one life. You're not going to get another one. And whoever said that you can't win them all never really set goals for themselves, because anything that you set out for yourself to do, and we're talking about your own goals, not someone else's, but for yourself, you can win, and you can win in this life. And winning by default is no longer an option, and I'm gonna tell you why. And you don't want to win by default. You want your winning to be legitimate. You want the status of that win to be true. And when I say you want it to be true, you don't want to leave no room for people to doubt it. You don't want to leave any room for people to, when you think about winning by default, people will of course say that it's it's suspect. People will of course speculate, and you don't want that. You don't want that for yourself. You don't want to win by default in this season. You want to win, and you want to win legitimately, and you want to win deliberately, because God is deliberate. And not only is he deliberate, but he's intentional. And everything with regards to setting yourself up to win deliberately is what I'm talking about today. And when I say winning deliberately, it's all personal, because I don't know what it is in terms of your goals, and you don't know what it is with regards to my goals. But at the end of the day, I like to think that you have some goals, and you're not waiting until January 1st to accomplish those goals or to even begin those goals. And if you are waiting until January 1st to begin those goals, then I'm here to tell you today that you are actually behind. You're behind the 8 ball. And nobody, when you think about the Olympics, and I say this often, we know, of course, it's every 4 years, right? They are planning now. They're not waiting until the last year. They're not waiting until the last quarter. They're not waiting until the last month. They're doing what they need to do today, because absolutely they will fail if they don't plan and prepare for it now. And we don't want to have failure. I don't like to think that failure is going to be an option for myself. I don't want failure to be an option for my children. I don't want failure to be an option for my team. And when I'm talking about my team, I'm talking about those that are in my corner, not necessarily my circle, because just because you're in my circle doesn't mean that you're in my corner. But the corner folks are the ones that's going to ride or die and keep it real with you when they see that you are not winning, but you are losing. So let's talk about it today, okay? And like I said, we don't want to win by default, and we don't want to have no room for doubt, no room for people to question us, no room for people to speculate us. We don't want for people to be suspect about our winning. When they think about what you do on a regular basis, when they think about how you come to the table prepared, and think about how you come to the table ready to do what it is that you have set out to do, that is a winner's mindset, and that is a winner's mentality. I cannot fail. I will not fail, and I will succeed. And we today, and Kelly, thank you for chiming in. You have a winner's mentality, because guess what? When you set out to do what it is that you want to do in your life, you may have some naysayers, you may have some people that are actually more qualified than you, and they may feel the sense of entitlement because they are qualified. But you have what they say is in Rocky, the eyes of a tiger. You have a determination about yourself that you are determined to win, and you don't want to win by default. You want your win to be legitimate, because let me slow myself down and think about it a little bit like this. When you think about winning, and when you think about winning deliberately and not by default, when you win by default, understand this: people will take credit for your win. And in this season, we don't want nobody to take credit for what God is doing for us in our lives. In this season, we don't want nobody to take credit for it. We don't want it to be said, well, you only won because you set someone up. We don't want it to be said that you only won because they didn't show up or they didn't give their best. We want that win to be a legitimate win, and we want that win to be a deliberate win. And make sure it counts. And I don't think that those winning by default, me technically, I don't think they count. I learned something a short while ago with my sons, and again, they're in the studio with me, Derek and Eric. When no one wins in football, and I didn't know this, when no one wins in football, it basically the win. And correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, the win goes to both people, right? Right. Oh, it's a tie. And I said, well, how is it a tie? Like, someone needs to be declared the winner. It just didn't make sense to me that no one wins. When you think about, these guys prepared themselves, they went out there on the field, did whatever they needed to do. They had 4 quarters to do it in. In some cases, they have, overtime, and nothing. We walk away with a tie. We don't even want ties in this season. We want nothing but some deliberate wins, nothing but intentional and deliberate wins for ourselves as we prepare for 2017. And you have to become aggressive with it. Watch this. Dating someone that's with someone is not a win. We need to recognize it. Dating someone that with someone is not a win. We need to recognize it. That's not a deliberate win. That's not an intentional win. Sabotaging someone, sabotaging someone's relationship is not a win. It's not a deliberate win. If you have to sabotage my relationship so that you can be on, that's not a deliberate win, and that's not winning. Speaking lies against someone is not a win. It's not a deliberate win. And we don't want to win that way. We don't want to sabotage people. We don't want to put dirt on somebody so that we can build ourselves up. We want to empower people. We want to encourage people. We want to motivate people. And we want to make sure that everybody's winning. And that's the mindset of a winner. We want to make sure that everybody's winning. And realistically, who doesn't want for the people that are around them to win? Who doesn't want the people that are around them to succeed and to be all that they can be in life? Who doesn't want that for the people that are around them? I think that it's a poor person that does not want people to win that are around them. I am so excited when I hear that one of my friends are doing well, when somebody gets a new house, somebody's getting married, someone's having a baby, someone just came into some money, whatever it is that God has done for you concerning your win. I'm excited about that, because at the end of the day, because you can win, that means I can win too. Because you can move to the next level, that means I can move to the next level. God has no respect of persons. If he can do it for you, then he can definitely do it for me. Listen, I'm going to take myself a really quick break, about 30 seconds. We will be right back. Once again, you have tuned in to Sister's Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio, as well as Facebook Live. I'm your host, Lady Kim. I will be right back. We're winning, and we're winning deliberately in 2016. We'll be right back. Winning.
It shouldn't be so hard to understand that it's good to love and become as a woman. 'Cause you see, that's how God made us. That's how God made us. That's how He created us. Created us to be warm, kind, and humble. Giving up all that I've been done. Yeah. You got to pray every day just to make a better way. On your knees, bow your head. That's what our Lord Jesus said. Got to pray every night just so you can see the light. And you must read your Bible. That's the key to our survival. When you see your brother man die, just be thankful that it's not you. And if you're able to help him, just know that God's going. That's how God made. That's how God made us. That's how He created us. Created us to be warm, kind, and humble. Giving up those that have been loved. You've got to pray every day just to make a better way.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Sisters Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio and also Facebook Live. Listen, we're talking today with regards to winning and winning deliberately and winning by default. Understand it is no longer an option. So often we don't do, as people, we don't do what we're supposed to do. And when I say what we're supposed to do, I'm talking about, putting the time, the effort, and the energy to be successful. We won't meditate. We won't read. Reading is fundamental. We won't take the time to, sharpen our craft. Iron sharpens iron. So often we as people, sometimes we don't want to associate with people that quote unquote have more than us because we feel like they think they're better than us. That's not true. Sometimes you need to get under some people that actually have more. Get under some people that knows how to make $1 million. How else are you going to learn how to make $1 million? Get under some people that have started some businesses. Get under some people that have traveled the world. How are you only hanging out with people that have never left the block, let alone the city? There are people that have never even been to Naperville. And we're talking about in Illinois, never even been to, let's say, Westmont or Darien. You say Darien and they act like you're speaking a foreign language. It's time out for just, okay, I'm winning because I have some Jordans. I'm winning because I have a Gucci belt. I'm winning because I have on some True Religion jeans. Y'all didn't think I knew that stuff. I'm winning because, I know the latest rappers. It's time out for winning by default. I'm winning because I have Section 8. I'm winning because, my car is paid off, but guess what? It was only $3,000 and I got $5,000 rims. That's not winning. It's winning by default. You have it's like visually you look like you're doing all right, but realistically you're struggling. You're not really winning. And we don't want to stay in that mentality. We really want to win, and we want to win deliberately. I saw on Facebook, it was a meme. I said that right there. It was a memes, and it showed how rich Black people truly are. It showed all the money that we spend in truly in this monster. It's a monster in terms of economically. It's a monster, and all this money that we put into these communities that have nothing to do with ours, and all these businesses that have nothing to do with Black people. All this money that we put into this monster, and nothing comes back to us. But because we feed this monster, when you look at what we have realistically by way of our money and our power and our ability, we should have more. Winning should not just be, I got myself a 1998, I don't know, Cutlass with some rims on it, or I have a Cadillac, it's a 70 whatever, and it has rims on it. That should not equate to winning. And realistically, wherever that came from, with us as a people, we need to send it back to hell because it's not winning. And it definitely isn't deliberate winning. Deliberate winning means I'm going to set aside my money. I'm going to get my money right. I'm going to get my mind right. I'm going to get my credit right. So when I walk into a business, guess what? I can have whatever it is that I want to have. Winning deliberately is not only am I going to put my money where my mouth is, but I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start something. I'm going to put something back into my community. I'm going to start a non-for-profit, and I'm going to work on getting some grants. I'm talking about some winning deliberately. It's not just always us as African Americans. We either going to set up a church, a storefront church, or we're going to, I don't know, do a hair shop or a nail shop. No, I'm talking about being really deliberate with how you think. And how you think in this last quarter, how you think about what you want your 2017 to look like, because God has given us momentum. He gave David momentum when Goliath was standing there. And a lot of us have those Goliaths that are standing there, but it's your choice. Do you keep on Saul's equipment that you can't use? Do you keep on Saul's mentality? Because guess what? David couldn't do anything with Saul's equipment. He couldn't use it. It wasn't going to benefit him. He had to take it off, and he had to be what God wanted him to be so that he can get the victory, so that he can win, and he can win deliberately. And no one can take credit for that win. No one can take credit for that win when you are deliberately working on who you are to be, when you are working on deliberately your purpose and God's design for you and your life. When you put it in that perspective and say, I don't want to win by default, because if I win by default, someone's going to take the credit. If I win by default, they're not going to see me as legitimate. If I win by default, they're not going to take me serious. And everybody wants to be taken serious. Who wants to do what you're doing and not be taken serious? But I can't take you serious if it's by default, because you just happen to show up. And what God has for you is for you. I'm not taking anything away from that. What God has for you is for you. But how about sharpening it? That's what I'm talking about. How about making it better? How about making it be all that God has designed for it to be? There is nothing worse than being being half-assed about what God has for you. There's nothing worse than not rising to your full potential. There is nothing worse than doing that. And that, my friend, is winning by default, because what God has for you is truly for you, but you are not applying all that He has acquired you to put into this, for it to be all that it's supposed to be, being deliberate and intentional about winning and having God get all of the glory from your life through your efforts, because that's in the story and that's where the testimony lies. But it's only going to be what you make it out to be, and it has to be deliberate. I'm going to take my last break. I really believe my time is wrapping up. I started a little bit late. I know that Laughing Out Loud with Nikki's going to be coming on soon. So listen, I'm going to take my last break and then come right back. Once again, this is Sister's Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio as well as Facebook Live. We're winning, you guys, but we have to win deliberately. No longer by default, because default, you're not legitimate. We'll be right back. Sister's Heart, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeartRadio. I am your host, Kim. And today we were talking about winning and winning deliberately and no longer winning by default. Default is no longer an option. You want your wins, you want your victories, you want your battles to be legitimate. You really want to put in the effort, you want to put in the work. You want to be the force, right? You want to be the gasoline that truly drives your success. You don't want to have to wait for someone to fail. I know that sometimes when you go to a job, right? And you have somebody that's there and they've been there forever and you're next in line, right? You're next in line for the big promotion, but you have to wait for them to either retire or die. Guess what? That's default. And if you're sitting around waiting for someone to retire or die before you can come into your greatness, then you mess around and leave this place before they will. It's now time to decide to do something different. It's now time to decide to be better. It's now time to decide to be untouchable and unstoppable. It's time to be deliberate in your desire to win. We get up every morning and we make a decision, we make a choice. It's going to be a good day or is it going to be a bad day? We go to sleep. Did I have a bad day at work or you know what? I made it through it. Thank God. To God be the glory. It's all a choice. And we make that choice based on how we communicate and how we take things in. And I choose to believe, right, Mr. Unstoppable? I choose to believe that realistically, when I think about what I want to do and how I want to do it, I really want to be deliberate. Let me tell you really quick this story, right? We were trying to I bought a red sofa. And I was just loving the sofa. It's that micro suede, popping red, and I wanted it to go downstairs in my family room. And I was determined that this sofa is going downstairs in the family room. And I'm talking about winning deliberately. And my sons, and nobody's a professional mover in my family, okay? My sons were working on getting that sofa downstairs for their mom. And we went through the front, we went through the back, and then of course we decided to come back around to the front because I wanted that sofa in my family room, that red suede sofa in my family room. And something inside of me said, Kim, because I'm watching my sons and I'm watching them work, and something said, Kim, just go ahead, drop this vehicle off, and then come back and see what happens. And when I came back home, that sofa was downstairs where I wanted it to be. They had figured it out on their own and they had it where it needed to be. And that's what I'm talking about when I say winning and winning deliberately. They didn't call me, they didn't get discouraged, and they did not give up. And that's where we have to move when we focus on our 2017 and what we want. Get rid of the dead weight. Get rid of the people that are not there for you. Get rid of the people that are not supporting you. And I'm talking about when I say not supporting you, because everyone's not going to support you, and that's okay. But I'm talking about the ones that are being negative, the naysayers, the ones that are speaking against you when you are seeing yourself being deliberate with what you want to do. Hence, I left. I left the house and I let them figure it out because I knew that they had a winning spirit, because they knew they had their mindset on what they wanted to do with regards to pleasing their mother. They wanted to win, and they wanted to win deliberately. So get rid of people, get rid of the excess baggage. Stop answering the phone calls to the folks that are doing nothing but weighing you down. Stop answering their calls. Don't answer their texts. Don't even respond to that. Let all that stuff go, because at the end of the day, if they're not trying to truly win and they're not being deliberate with what they do, I'm talking about being deliberate with their actions, their responses, how they think, their conversations. If they're not being deliberate with winning and supporting you while you support them, again, as I said, iron is sharpening iron, then let them go, because you want your victories to truly be legitimate. You want your winning to not be questioned. You don't want people to question your integrity. You don't want people to question your character. You want to win, and you want to win on your own merits. You want to show up and truly show out because you have something that is valuable, and it's inside of you, and you're not going to know it unless you release it and you give birth to it. And that's what I'm talking about. No woman goes to the emergency room to have a baby and not be deliberate about the fact that she wants to get this baby up out of her. You have to be deliberate about delivering your baby. And when I talk about your baby, I'm talking about in the spirit, and that's the spirit of winning. I want to have birth to this baby. I'm going to do what I need to do to make it come through with regards to the 9 months that I have to carry it. And I'm going to deliver it, and I'm going to deliver it, and I'm going to be deliberate because I want to win. So listen, this is going to bring this part of the show down to an end. Don't allow your wins to be by default. You're not legitimate. You're not. I want to say this really quick. That today marks the 1 year anniversary for the loss of a really dear friend, Dee Weaver. We call her Ladybug. She was on the show here with me last year in October. Truly want to send love out to her mother, Marianne Lawson. Mother, love you. Kim Johnson, her good friend, her friends, her family. I can't call you all by name, but God bless you all. Beautiful woman of God, beautiful spirit. We love her. She is truly missed, but we know that she is still with us. She was an angel here on earth. So again, Ladybug One, wanted to take the time to tell you to, if you wanted to, definitely hook up with me with regards to my initiative for collecting gloves as well as hats for the homeless as well as the needy. That initiative is still going. You can reach me on Facebook or you can inbox me. Just do what you're going to do, and truly do what you're going to do, not just for yourself, but for someone behind you, because someone is watching, and they're watching to see, are you going to win? Are you going to win deliberately? Are you going to cheat? Are you going to lie? What are you going to do to be deliberate? And that's going to be the thought as we go into 2017. Do it, and do it deliberately, not just intentionally, right? But deliberately. And that's the drive, and that's the passion. Listen, I'm your host, Kim, and you have tuned in to Sister's Heart. Can We Talk, where we stream live on IntellectualRadio.com via iHeart as well as Facebook Live. I thank you for tuning in. I thank you for giving me this time, of course, to drop this down on you. I appreciate this love, and I appreciate the support. Again, my sons are in the studio, Derek and Eric. Mom loves them. And to God be the glory for all that he's done. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Thursday is Thanksgiving. You know what? Enjoy your family. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. And you know what? Pray for your enemies, because guess what? They need it as well. All right. God bless you guys, and I'll see you all next week. Until then.